Hello guys, well, this is a tank review video as always, in the middle of the week. Today's tank will be the tier 8 medium tank from the E50M line, the Panther 2. What we can say right off the bat, the Panther 2 was never developed, only the Panther. The Panther 2 was purely a prototype made that was supposed to be produced, but it never came to action. They never produced even prototypes of it, I think. And what's more important for us, in the game, the tank is a tier 8 premium tank, with tier 8 medium tank of the German line, which suggests that it should have good accuracy, and because it's from the E50 line, it should have quite decent armor for a medium tank, for example. So let's compare this. Actually, oh, we're not gonna compare it. We're gonna just straight off the bat go on a spree of seeing the stats. So right off the bat we see it has 1450 hit points, which is more than the Indian Panzer, its brother in the tier 8 medium line to the Leopard 1. Also, I think it has more. No, it has exactly the same hit points as a fully upgraded Centurion 1. You can see I have 3 medium tanks, so we can compare all of them without a problem. It weighs 48 tons, 51 fully maxed out. You can see I have full equipment, so almost 49 tons with a 870 horsepower engine, which gives us 17.8 horsepower to weight ratio. It's quite good. The Panther actually is quite maneuverable. It has a decent speed limit, but you're never gonna reach that. Well, you will reach that, but it will take a long time. The speed limit is 55 kilometers per hour. Traverse speed is not that great, only 28, but combining that with the turret traverse of the upgraded turret, it's 28. So we have above almost 60, 57 to be exact, turret traverse, which isn't that bad, but isn't great. Also, the Russian tanks, I think we can even check it out on the tank trees. Let's see. Where's the Russians? Here they are. T-44 is the tank on its tier. So it has 42 turret traverse and 42 traverse speed and 48 turret traverse, which gives us a 90 total traverse, so that's way better than the Panther. The Panther is not made for close combat and circling around enemies. But we're gonna get to that in a bit. So, armor. It has 100 millimeters of armor in the front, but you can see it's quite well sloped, with an obvious huge weak spot over here, the machine gun turret. Also the lower plate, you can see, is not that well angled. It's only like this. So you can easily go through that because it's just a huge weak spot. Try to always cover up that weak spot, because you will get properly damaged if not. Sides, of course, is 60 and back is 40. The back is quite angled, so maybe very low tier guns would bounce on it, but the Panther doesn't see anything less than tier 6, and on tier 6 you already have about 100 plus penetration. 120 penetration is average, so they will go through this easily, outmatching the armor itself. Sides, you can see there's like a little bit of side skirts. That's a little bit of spaced armor, but I wouldn't count on bouncing shots from the side of the Panther. The sides are also very lowly angled, but they are. So, turret is 120 millimeters in the front, with a very slight angle, but mainly your power lies in the gun mantlet that is like the most part of the turret. And honestly, you can see that the angle on the sides of the turret, if you aim at something else and just give it like this, if someone aims over here at those eyes, let's call them, or ears, he can easily go through the turret. The turret size is only 60 millimeters, and also the back is 60 millimeters armor, so nothing all that great. Also, a nice weak spot to aim if you have to is the commander's hatch. It's not a big weak spot, but it's big enough to get hit constantly. I noticed that a lot of people also try to shoot those viewports if they cannot get this machine gun port. And yeah, that's basically what you should aim for the Panther. If you're lucky and you get a good shell into the lower plate, you can set the Panther on fire. It's notorious for getting on fire as all German medium and heavy tanks, because the transmission is in the front. I don't know why transmission catches fire, but okay, wargaming, whatever you say. And yeah, that's it for the statistics of the tank itself. Well, not. It has 390 view range, which is quite average. The Americans already have 400 at that level, and you have 415 signal range. It seems, yeah, I don't have the upgraded radio. Derp. I almost finished the grind on the Panther, and now I notice that I don't have the updated radio. So 710. Do I have everything else? Yeah. So now let's go into the research tree, and then we're gonna talk about guns. So once you go into the research tree, you actually get, if you went through the Panther, its top engine is the 750 horsepower engine that proceeds into the Panther 2, I think. Yep, there it is, Panther 2. I already had those engines because I have the E75, so most of the things are unlocked on this line also. So you go into this and you get this engine. You get the pre-last engine, which makes the Panther mobile, but the cherry on the cake is the 870. But be wary that you honestly can skip it if you really persist on it, because the E50 uses the E75's engine, and that's what you should get. If you're aiming at this line in particular, I would highly advise starting the heavy line, because it's way of an easier grind. There's very good tanks and you'll get to tier 9 easily, and with the E75 just get everything on it and you will have most things unlocked on the medium line, and start then with this, because the E50 uses the E75's engine, which has 1200 engine horsepower comparing to 870 that you have on this engine. This really doesn't make the E50 that fast. It makes the E50 go like a Panther, but yeah, you should just get the better engine from the E75. So radio is, honestly, you get this radio on what, like the Panzer IV, so you get it from a long time ago. The turrets are not that big of a difference, honestly. It's only like 20 armor on the front and it looks a little bit different. The second turret weighs a ton more, so obviously your first purchase should be the tracks, then getting the turret, because I think you cannot mount the 88 on this. Yeah, you can't. So you gotta get the tracks and the turret, and then start your way towards either this, if you have it from the last tank. You can also use this, the 7.5 KWK 45L100, which you got as a top gun on the Panther, but I highly don't recommend it, because the other choice of guns is a short 88, which you got on tier 6 and it's nothing to brag about. It's weak for tier 7, as you will encounter if you ever go up the 3001D line, 3002D, the tier 7 old DB VK. Or you have the long 88, which is exactly the same gun you get on the Panzer Kampelwagen Tiger. Also the Tiger 2. And in the Indian Panzer, all of the tanks on tier 8 mostly get this gun. Now, yeah, let's transition into the guns. Basically, you have a choice between those two. There's honestly no other choice. And you can see the rate of fire of the 7.5 is way higher, but you sacrifice a lot of average damage. The 240 or the long 88 against 135, that's very low. That gun is very high, has a very high rate of fire, but sacrifices really a lot in terms of damage per shot. Penetration, it's better on the 88, 203 isn't that bad honestly, comparing to the 7.5 198, which isn't also that bad. Tier 8 mediums you always got to go around and try to flank people, but I'll show you that it's not the case in some cases. There are tanks that are just made for pure and utter brawling, like the Churchill, which you can see its top gun has 226 millimeters of penetration. That's 23 more, with roughly the same average damage and better accuracy and better aiming time. But the Churchill is slower. Not Churchill, the Centurion is way slower, and even if we go even more into it, let's get the Pershing out and its top gun, the 90mm, 180. So actually with 200 millimeters of penetration you're quite high on the damage on the penetration charts. But then again, your little brother, the Indian Panzer, which I just unlocked, I still don't have its top gun, but it's a very fast grind, only 19,000. See that? The Indian Panzer gun has even more penetration. It's the 90mm 54 cannon, which has roughly better fire rate, better damage, the same average damage, better penetration, and better aiming time than you. So yeah, that's quite not nice from Wargaming to make a tier 8 tank having that an obvious advantage. The gun isn't worse in any single respect to the 88. It's better. Roughly, I think on the Panther 2 you get the higher rate of fire. Let's just check that out. Nope, you don't. 7.79. So yeah, the Indian Panzer, while it has the 88, it has exactly the same. But once you mount the 90, you have 8 rounds per minute, giving you a way better fire rate. So the long 88 is quite accurate in its respect. It has 0.34 accuracy, but I like to say that it's not that good. I felt that on the target, on the King target, was way more accurate than this. But what can you do? It has 2.9 aiming time, just to give you an example how bad for a medium tank that aiming time is. You know that the Chinese are notorious for having horrible aim times. Guess what? 2.7 to 2.9, which basically means the Chinese guns, except for 122mm guns, have better aiming times or the same aiming times as you in your Panther. So the Panther cannot take snapshots. You will miss most of the shots that you will try to make while turning around, while moving, while not waiting for your zoom in. That's why, as a smooth transition, let's go into equipment. I'm using vertical vents to support all of my crew members. That 5% really helps. Gun rammer are obvious choice. You always want to put out shots as fast as you can. And vertical stabilizer, vertical stabilizer Mark 1, so 20% less of an aiming circle while moving, while rotating the turret, which means basically that always when you start to aim you have a 20% less aiming time than normally you would. But still the tank aims horribly long. You can also support that by skills via snapshot on the gunner and smooth ride, but honestly it won't be that good. So as for crew, my basic advice, you can see I have weird skills right now. I didn't pay much attention when I made this crew. Is getting 6th sense on the commander, snapshot on the gunner, clutch braking on the driver, and smooth ride to increase that traverse speed, and then you're aiming on the move. Situational awareness is always a good thing for the radio operator because it increases your view range and safe storage for the loader, because I always like to have safe storage on my tanks. It's just a little bit more HP pull on the ammo rack, which is notorious for blowing it up. I don't like blowing up ammo racks. Also, not a bad thing on this tank, I think, would be getting camouflage. So camouflage for all of the crew members. Of course BA is an obvious one, because it would help, but honestly the Panthers have they are such high targets that I never felt... I had full camouflage on the Panther 1 and I never felt it was that good to honestly rely on it. So I changed it up for repairs and now I'm starting to grind out the second skills. Equipment is honestly the things that you would always do. Oh, also I forgot to say, the Panther is known for one good thing. You weigh 59 tons. You go around 50 kilometers per hour. If you hit most of the other tanks on tier 7, you will damage them. For example, remember 48, 49 tons. Let's look at the Tiger. The Tiger weighs only 56 tons. So he is heavier than you. The IS is weaker. Actually, if you ram into an IS tank, this is the IS2, tier 7, you will damage him because you weight more. Most medium tanks are way lighter than you, except for the Centurion. The Centurion is a little bit lighter, but I wouldn't count on that. The Indian Panzer is way lighter. Like, even the Patton, the tier 9 American, fully upgraded, is just way lighter. So you can ram this vehicle into things and do more damage than you do with your gun. So it's not a bad idea once you have 3 skills to get us. Like, I would suggest you start off with, of course, Broaden and Arms, then Snapshot. Oh, this is the gunner. So nope. Where are you, driver? There you are. Let's go into skills. Controlled impact. But first I would suggest you get Smooth Ride. Basically all of those skills do something, so the driver is like the only person alive in your tank that should always have a few skills skilled up. Because Preserve and Maintenance will help you out, because you will not catch fire as frequently. Also, Smooth Ride increases your accuracy on the move. Awesome thing for all mediums. Off-road driving reduces ground resistant driving on soft and moderately soft terrain, which basically translates into you having a higher speed. Controlled impact, exactly what I said. It just makes you deal more damage while getting less damage while hitting other people. But you have to have it on 100%. And of course clutch braking for the increased traverse speed. So that's it in the garage. Let's go and grab some games with this tank. So here's the game. I'm playing on port with Santomira and Voigtkampf. Voig is in his Centurion 1 and Santo is in his IS3. We basically went over to E4, E5, tried to walk around these little hilltops. I think it's the best place to be in a medium tank on this map. If you have good gun impression, then even better. And I told basically Sam to go and try to keep the left flank occupied while we kill everything on the right flank, while pushing up through the middle and getting some backstabbing moves. So yeah, Panther 2, you saw, it's quite speedy. It's faster than a Centurion, that's for sure, but the Centurion is notorious. All the British tanks are... The British mediums after the Comet are notorious for being slower and slower and slower. The tier 10 is the slowest of all tier 10 mediums, but it has a really good gun. And I'm very looking forward to the Centurion 7-1 with its Royal Ordnance gun, but we'll see how it goes. I'm probably gonna make a Centurion review next week, so we'll have 3 tier 8 medium tank reviews, which should be awesome. So we are waiting for something to happen. The right flank is, honestly, there's nothing on the right flank. Here I tried to take a shot on this T-32, but I miss. I also tried to take a hit on this FCM, but yeah, there's no way I'm gonna hit it. I found out that with the Panther I honestly don't shoot a lot. I don't like to take shots that are not predicted. I neglected the fact of the T-34, which will bite me in the ass later on. I tried to destroy the cover behind him, but unfortunately I didn't. Void got badly hit. I see the T-34 is over there. He started shooting me, and now you can see the horrible turret traverse of this tank. Basically it's a heavy tank traverse speed. This tank is not made for circling enemies, not made for outflanking. It's better at being on the second row of tanks and getting hits out. Void got badly hit again. He's very low on health. I take a shot and hit track, unfortunately. Wait for my reload and he moves out, so I start moving up. All of the enemy team are on the left flank and I'm basically waiting for our team to start moving up. Void got a decent hit. I got hit from the T-34 again, neglecting the fact that he's over there. It's 4 minutes into the game and I still didn't do a single point of damage, so I'm thinking, fuck it, I'm gonna go over here and start putting shots on the sides of those enemies. So I move up through this to get a little bit of cover. There's the T-34, now I spotted him. But I start pounding on this Tiger P, tracking him and also securing a little bit of spotting and tracking damage after 8.6. That's a fairly stock Tiger P. You could have seen that by the turret that he has. Now he starts moving in. I track him again. He gets hit by the Tiger. He's out. Our team is moving into the base and I'm trying to still outflank. This is what you have to use the Germans for. You have to outflank with your very slow tank and position yourself in a quite longer range, just because you know you cannot take... You will not be able to fight in an even match against the enemies. So still waiting. Shot the KV-4. Back out. Get hit by the T-44. I'm fairly pissed. Saying to Santu, if you can, please do something about it. He now hit my left tracks. I tried to side script. Actually, you can side script with the Panther. Put another shot into him. He again shots my tracks, and you can see Santu just passed him by. Now blocking my shot. I'm getting hit by a Comet. And you can see I hit him in the tracks probably. Not doing anything. Positioning myself so I'm not hit by him. Shoot the T-34. Ask guys for support because I cannot do anything against the Comet. The Comet will, if the Comet was smart, he would have killed me without a problem. Again trying to side scrape, but I think he's puking gold. Because he's penetrating every single hit he takes. But it doesn't seem so. You can see that the Panther's gun mantlet isn't that good. I got penetrated over there. Yep, he's shooting gold. He's basically trying to get me killed with gold. I'm saying, Voik, come around, help me out. We need to kill this Comet. Let him position his gun in another direction. And now he did it. He came in, he took a shot, I aim, shoot, I ricochet. I am fairly pissed at this point with the luck this Comet has. I reload, put one into him, head back, he bounced off me and Voik finishes him off. Now we can start to work on the enemies that are left. This is still not at the side of the game. They have a fully live Tiger 2 and a T-32. And the FCM 50 tons was actually a good player. I'm thinking like I'm gonna try to get a shot out of him. To get him out of the battle, because with XVM I saw he's one of the best players, and even damaged best players can do quite a lot. You can see I have 9 life, Voik is on 100 life. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get hit and die, and I say Well, you have more life than me. Now I depped. I shouldn't have hit the T. Void kills the IS-3. Awesome. I check out if I see the T-29, but unfortunately, T-25, but unfortunately I don't. I say to him, I have 9 life. I take a snapshot and kill the 50-ton, which was trying to get around us. And honestly, if he did that, they would have won the game probably, because the 3 of us were the hard carries in this game. Unfortunately, the target 2 takes out the Void. I put a critical hit, but I'm quite scared. But now I see this T-32 has no intention of looking at me. I took a hit, but I took a shot, but still back out. Be cautious, cause you never know where he thinks that he's gonna come around. Santu puts a hit into the king target, putting him on fire, killing him with 500 damage. And that's it. So quite a nice game. We did 3000 damage. We played a well played game in a platoon. Yesterday I tried to finish off the grind on the Panther, and basically this was the score that we got over and over again. We got good games with the Panther with quite high scores, with quite high damage, 1.7 thousand games. This was a 1.8 thousand game. It's not my ace tanker. My ace tanker was above 2000. So yeah, Panther 2. Gotta know where to position yourself, gotta predict where your enemies will be, and always be on the flanks. Never try to take shots. Well, you can try to take shots on the front, but the accuracy of this gun will derp you a little bit, and you will have problems. So that's it. I hope you guys liked this little review of the Panther 2 tank. Next week is gonna be the Centurion 1. I hope you will guys like it, and basically this is Kazrahim signing off. See you guys next time.